Hi friends, my name is Rahul Chauhan and today we would discuss about negative working capital. Hi Ritika, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm absolutely great. How are you doing?
Great, great. So, today is the day when we are going to discuss about negative working capital.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
So,
I have been looking forward for it.
yeah. So, please throw some light on it.
Bilkul. So I'll not go into a financial definition of it because it would be too complicated for you and as well as for me. I'll try to make it simple in layman language. So it's basically that
Okay.
if you can get all the payments from your customer in advance, that's where
Mhm.
you have a good negative working capital with you. So अगर हम अपनी पेमेंट सारी कस्टमर से एडवांस में ले सकें, which becomes the perfect scenario, is the best way to talk about a negative working capital, which also means that companies do not have to deploy their own capital or borrow from banks just to carry out their routine work. कि आपको बैंक से लोन ना लेना पड़े या बाहर मार्केट से पैसा ना उठाना पड़े, आपने उसी पैसे से जो आपके कस्टमर ने आपको पे किया है, आप अपनी डे टू डे बिजनेस एक्टिविटीज को वर्क करते रहें. दैट बिकम्स द सिनेरियो एंड इट्स एक्चुअली गुड टू हैव नेगेटिव वर्किंग कैपिटल बिकॉज इससे क्या होता है कि कंपनी के लिए एक रिटर्न लेके आना, एक प्रॉफिट मार्जिन लेके आना बहुत इजी हो जाता है. तो दे डोंट हैव टू रश बिहाइंड गेटिंग मनी फ्रॉम द मार्केट. आज के टाइम पे सभी कंपनीज के लिए, स्पेशली स्टार्टअप्स एंड बिगर वंस, उनके लिए एक बड़ा चैलेंज है कि अपनी पेमेंट को वापस अकाउंट में लेके आना. एंड दिस काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस मॉडल हेल्प्स एक्चुअली, it's not a business model, but this kind of scenario actually helps them and you know giving good returns for making good returns for themselves. And इससे एक चीज और शो होती है that it shows that your company is highly operationally efficient, and it shows your operational efficiency if you have a negative working capital. Just to give you an example, let's say there's a businessman, right? He buys goods on credit card that has a cycle of 45 days. एक businessman है, उसने कुछ सामान खरीदा, 45 days के क्रेडिट के ऊपर जो क्रेडिट कार्ड का एक साइकिल होता है, then if he sells
Mhm.
his goods and collects the payments from by selling them within a month, अब उसमें क्या हुआ है, he has not paid anything out of his pocket, right? But he is able to generate profits out of it without spending a single penny from his own pocket. So he can roll the money till the time the credit card payment is due, which means he can invest in the short term and make additional profit on it. So अगर वो एक ही महीने के अंदर अपने उस प्रोडक्ट को सेल करके पैसा कलेक्ट करके और ड्यू डेट से पहले पेमेंट कर दे, it's a perfect scenario to have that kind of cycle coming in.
Oh, that's great. Basically, I was thinking negative word है तो negative side में कुछ होगा, but it is the awesome thing one can have in their business.
So basically, this is the only one negative side which you should have in your business, because it's not negative as a working capital, but it's actually beneficial for your business. It's the positive
Right.
aspect.
नहीं तो हाँ, मतलब मेरे दिमाग में तो अभी तक यही था कि इट्स अ नेगेटिव थिंग व्हिच आई मीन यू विल टेल मी कि ये चीज नहीं करनी है, बट दिस इज तो आई मीन दिस इज बेनिफिशियल टू हैव इन योर कंपनी
Absolutely, yes.
व्हिच हैव नेगेटिव वर्किंग कैपिटल.
Well, you can have negative working capital in almost all the industries, but few of them, जो especially अपने with few of the industries which are able to do it efficiently are FMCG companies, because they are able to charge their retailers in advance. वो FMCG companies अपने retailers से advance पैसा ले सकती हैं क्योंकि उनके पास मार्केट में लीडरशिप है और उनके पास एक ब्रांड है. एक दूसरा एग्जांपल है ऑटोमोबाइल का, जहां पे दे यूज just in time inventory. So we'll talk about just in time inventory as a business, not as a business, just in time inventory model maybe sometime in future, but this also helps them in reducing their inventory levels. So, and I also remember that I paid a full year of advance to as a subscription to HT Mint. Now I've paid a full year's advance to the company to receive that product on a staggered basis. So subscription as a model also helps in getting the money in advance. So any company which have good service subscription model would always have negative working capital most of the time.
Oh, that's great. These both are interrelated basically.
So
Subscription model as well
with
as negative working capital.
Yes, one leads to the another if they are done
Yeah.
efficiently.
Which other companies have negative working capital?
So Ritika, there are many companies which uses negative working capital. One of them is Maruti Suzuki, one of the famous names. Hindustan Unilever, which makes Lux soap and other FMCG brands. Hero Motor Corp, Mahanagar Gas. So Mahanagar Gas is basically a gas distribution company which provides gas in homes and commercial use via a pipeline in Mumbai and other cities. So these are a few of the examples, Indian examples, which are using negative working capital very efficiently for a longer duration of time.
Okay. So you said that FMCGs have negative working capital. So do all of them have this negative working capital, or only few of them?
So not at all. So all companies in an industry may not have a negative working capital. But so let me give you an example. Hindustan Unilever, HU, Nestle. These are the few companies in India which have got negative working capital for more than a decade now. उनको पिछले 10, 12, 15 सालों से हर कस्टमर से एडवांस में पेमेंट मिलती है और उससे के बाद वो अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को डिलीवर करते हैं. सो नेस्ले का एक बेस्ट एग्जांपल है मैगी का, राइट? So because they've got huge brand names with them, they've got huge market leadership, so that's why they are able to use it. There are other FMCG companies जैसे Britannia, ITC, Dabur. They do belong to FMCG and have got similar business segments, but they mostly have got positive working capital, except for few years where they are able to generate negative working capital cycle. This also means that companies with negative working capital are able to first sell their products to the market and later they pay to their raw material providers. So let's say take an example, me as I am a Nestle and I'm manufacturing Maggie as a product. I'm able to sell my product first to the market as Maggie, and my raw material ingredient, which is the maida flour. That flour or maida, उसको जिससे मैंने सोर्स किया है उसको मैं बाद में पे कर रहा हूँ, बट मैंने अपना माल पहले बेच दिया. So it's a perfect scenario wherein I'm able to sell first and pay to my vendors later.
Oh, great. So this is the perfect scenario where you can have money in your pocket, basically.
First.
Before even selling.
Oh, absolutely.
What I understand is airline also collect money in advance. So is it also a good business?
Well, just to talk about airline as an industry, they do have a very high negative working capital because they're able to collect money at the time of booking itself, and at times it can be months before they actually spend on it. And the spending for them is basically transporting you as a customer from one place to another place. However, historically, it's a losing business globally, and it's for some other reasons like overcapacity, very high airport charges at certain airports, very high cost of fuel, among others. So yes, negative working capital is one parameter to have a good business, but it cannot be the only parameter to have a good, business coming in.
Oh, great. So, as you just say about all these things, we have discussed mostly about its positives. So, do we have any negatives for this? Negative working capital?
So one need to understand, Ritika, that negative working capital should not be created artificially. कि उसको आप जबरदस्ती ना बनाए by taking a loan from bank or with debts or by selling your product in the market with no margin or a very less margin, because इससे क्या होगा, आपके business के day to day operations पे एक बहुत ज़्यादा pressure होगा. If you are able to sustain healthy margins and you don't have to take money as a loan or as a loan from the bank or from the market, then it's a good working scenario. Nahi to it would put a lot of pressure on your business on a day-to-day basis.
Great. So this is the only negative of negative working capital, basically.
Yes. So anytime you have to take a loan on your business, or for me, taking a debt on a business is a high risk scenario. And most of the companies which have failed are actually mostly because of high debt scenario.
So if anyone is going to start its business, or maybe in a starting stage in their business, they should avoid doing this, basically.
Yes, I mean, till the time you don't have that kind of money or I personally feel that you should avoid taking a lot of debts in your business if you don't have revenues. So your revenue should be able to pay off your debts first. So that's a basic part you need to understand.
So, did we at Rooms Expert have negative working capital?
Yes, we did, but we only had on the customer side, because as soon as the transaction was made by the customer, we used to get paid then and there before we had to pay out to our suppliers. However, we were working on the supplier side also before the lockdown happened. So हमारे पास अभी तक क्या था, we were able to collect all the money in advance, but वो सारा पैसा तुरंत ही हमारा कस्टमर अपने वेंडर्स को चला जाता था. What we were trying to build, and we were almost there before the lockdown happened, कि हमें वेंडर्स को थोड़े दिन के बाद पे करना पड़े. So it would have been a best case scenario for us, but ठीक है, let it be. Yes, at least on the one side we used to collect all the money in advance, at least on the customer side.
Great. I'm hoping all the things get better soon.
Yeah.
Especially this corona thing. So, what are we going to discuss next now?
Next story would be a failure story on Ranbaxy, one of the largest pharma company in India.
So I think that's it here. I got to know each and everything, and I'm sure our viewers also understood what is the negative working capital. This is not a negative term. Basically, this is a positive term with the negative word only.
And that's too positive for your business.
Yeah.
See you guys till next time, and stay safe at your homes.